Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our dry ingredients mixed up. So we'll start with some almond flour. We're going to need 2.5 cups almond flour. Next we'll need 3/4 cup erythritol, followed by 1/2 cup allulose, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. Last, add 1/2 cup Dutch processed cocoa. And this ingredient you do want to sift. So we're going to go ahead and get that sifted real quick. Now we're going to go ahead and get this mixing head on here. Be very careful. Start this on low speed because it can get messy. Even though we're going to mix this with a mixer, I recommend taking a spatula and mixing this up, because if you do not, you're going to be covered in a cloud of cocoa powder. We'll go ahead and get this on and get this mixed up. You want to go ahead and knock all the dry ingredients off of the inside walls. We'll go ahead and do that one more time. All right, now it's time for our wet ingredients. And the first ingredient we're going to need is 6 tablespoons butter. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the microwave and get it melted. All right, now that we got it melted, I'm going to go ahead and add the butter. We're going to go ahead and stir that in a bit, just because it's a little warm. Next, we're going to add 4 teaspoons heavy whipping cream. The next ingredient is instant coffee. You're going to dissolve 1 teaspoon instant coffee in 1 tablespoon warm water. And last, we'll add 1 teaspoon vanilla. Now that this is good and mixed up, we're going to go ahead and knock this off of the mixing head. I'm going to warn you, do not start eating this. If you start eating this, it's not going to make it to the oven. I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned off, and then we'll start making our cookies. Now, I use a small scoop for this recipe, but if you don't have one, then you can use a spoon. This just assures that all of my cookies are the same exact size and they cook evenly. I will take my parchment paper, run it across the edge of that cookie sheet to give me a good line, and I'll fold it in and crease my paper. Now I have the perfect liner for my cookie sheet. Alright, now that we've got those done, it's time for the wax paper. We just need enough wax paper to cover a section of these. So we'll just do a run here, and then we'll move the wax paper down. Place this wax paper across them, and you can mash these however you want. I have found using a jar with a nice concave bottom will give us even press for every cookie. You want to press until you see the edge right there start to press out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. Now, since I can't seem to find the yellow cookie cutter that I need, I'm going to go ahead and improvise with a glass that is about the right size. Normally, I would just throw them in the oven like this, but we're going to go ahead and trim these up because I don't want these outside edges for this particular recipe. They need to be nice and consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these out. I'll be right back. Now that we got this first batch all pressed out and fairly clean, it is very important that you watch these cookies. So we're going to go ahead and get these in the oven at 350 for 5 to 7 minutes. And so what I like to do while they're in the oven is go ahead and get another piece of parchment paper and go through that process again. It's a very quick cook time, but the preparation of pressing them takes a little bit longer, especially if you're making this cake. Now we're going to remove these from the cookie sheet, place the other batch on the cookie sheet, and put it in the oven. Now we'll go ahead and get these cookies onto the baker's rack. I'll go ahead and add my final tier for my football-shaped cookies. We're going to go ahead and set these to the side and get our heavy whipping cream ready. Now it's time for the whipped cream. You may be tempted to use one of these. It just will not produce a thick enough whipping cream for this recipe. The first thing we're going to need is 20 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Next, we're going to be adding vanilla. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon vanilla and 1 teaspoon amaretto. If you don't have amaretto, then you'll just put in 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. And then 2 teaspoons monk fruit. Now we'll go ahead and put this on and get this whipped up. Make sure you start this in low and slowly work your way up. So now that the whipped cream's ready, we're going to get this shut off and lift this up, and you'll see how thick it is. It's holding to the spatula, no problem. We'll go ahead and get this cleaned off because we're going to need every drop of this. Hopefully I will have enough to make the recipe because normally it's just a round log. Traditionally, this would be a log cake like this. But since it's Super Bowl, I'm going to go ahead and make a Lombardi trophy. And since I'm handling this food and it's cold and not cooked, I'm going to go ahead and put on some fresh gloves. All right, now that I got green hands, we're going to get this cake made. We're going to take the first cookie. You want to put about a ½ layer of whipped cream on the cookie. Then we're just going to basically face our next cookie, squeeze it together, add another layer, and continue this process. Once you've got 3 cookies like this, you're going to have enough to place it down on your platter. Now you'll just continue building these. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working my way all the way up. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these cookies in half. I have to go ahead and add to this area right here. Now that we've got this, we're going to start tapering this in. We're going to go ahead and take some of the edge off of these. We'll go ahead and set this down to see if 4 will get us where we need to be. And it looks like we'll go ahead and need that 5th one. We'll add a little bit of whipped cream on the back side, whipped cream on the front side. Don't worry about all of this. We're going to finish this off when we get done. Then we're going to take our football end and our football end. Keep your orientation so your football looks proper. Then we're going to go ahead and make our other side. And there you have it, guys. A Lombardi Trophy refrigerator cake. Thanks so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this, and I know you will love this cake. With that, go ahead and smash that subscribe, like this video, comment below, and I will see you in the next video.